Welcome to So You've Become an Online or Blended Teacher. Now what? This is episode 8. You're techie enough. According to the research that I've read, the biggest fear of new online and blended teachers is that they don't have the tech skills necessary to do the job. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, you probably are techie enough to do just fine. There's no requirement to be a super coder or even an experienced video producer. Tech skills can help, but remember, it's the teaching skills that matter the most. Some online courses are even pre-packaged so the teacher can't add or change activities as needed. So there are almost no tech skills required beyond being able to email people and set up live meetings once in a while. This is sad because the adapting to students' needs part of teaching isn't possible even when it's needed. But Dr. Fatima Al-Brahim wrote in 2020 that there's no imperative need for online instructors to be technologically advanced. Online instructors have to possess adequate technological literacy skills to be able to do the following, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically know how to use some tech tools for teaching and be willing to learn some more. But even if you're developing your own online course or adapting one that you've taught in the classroom for years, needed tech skills are only 2, but there are some that are nice to have, and these are them. It'd be nice to have full knowledge of accessibility requirements for technology in the classroom and online instruction. Some places have requirements where you have to have a minimum amount of accessibility. If you're in BC, I couldn't find any general accessibility requirements for online teaching. But if you ever do teach students who have disabilities, finding out how to lay out materials for ease of access for them, obviously, is helpful to them. Second, ability to evaluate internet resources. We do this as face-to-face teachers all the time. Knowing which internet resources, apps, videos, websites are appropriate for your class's depth of knowledge and for the actual content you're teaching helps you choose which ones to use with your students. Understanding aspects of copyright privileges and violations are important too. While in Canada there are exceptions to copyright laws for educational purposes called fair dealing. Fair use is an American thing. Some things are never able to be used or can only be used in certain ways. So knowing a little bit about what you can and can't legally do is a good idea. Your school or district library staff knows all about this and will be happy to help you. Or you could look into Creative Commons licenses and open educational resources on sites like CK-12 because these are usually freely shareable. And remember to always cite your sources. Number 4 is monitoring and modeling proper etiquette and generally accepted online use policies. This varies from simple things like being aware of the background and angle in your video chats to how to write a professional email. Students need help with these things, so knowing a tiny bit about them and supporting students in developing those skills is a good thing. Then designing and implementing appropriate lesson plans for online students. This involves being aware of keeping lessons interactive and sometimes offline and sometimes social. You want balance in all things. It also involves using the pedagogical strategies that work best with your students, and you know what those are, to help them learn and grow. Often what you already do only needs minor tweaking. And then finally, this is the scary one, the ability to troubleshoot minor technical issues and refer to technical support personnel when necessary. This is where lots of teachers get nervous, but minor really does mean minor. Is a student having trouble logging in? Can you help them with that? If you're asking students to submit a photo as part of an assignment, do you know how to do that? Can you walk somebody through the process? Maybe you could find a short video explaining it and post it so students might know how to do that sort of thing. Anyway, as far as required tech skills, there really are only 2. The first is to know whom to ask for help and whom to send the students to if they're beyond your depth. The tech help desk, your school's librarian, the teacher down the hall who knows a little more than you do. Teachers can be reluctant to ask for help because we often think we're supposed to know everything, but often people ask us for help and we're happy to help them out. One of your best resources can be your students too. So they say, can we do a Kahoot? And you have no idea what that is. Great. Ask them to make one and then you can evaluate whether we can use it or not. The second thing you need is a willingness to experiment. There are 40 bajillion educational apps out there, but you don't need to be an expert in all of them. Just like trying new classroom activities, trying a new piece of software can be stressful, but it's often rewarding. Stay positive. There's a quotation attributed to Edison that this reminds me of. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So remember that the skill of the teacher in relating to students and knowing how to help them learn is the main ingredient in student learning. So don't sweat the tech stuff. Thanks. You can find me at this email address if you have questions. References and attributions are in the description of the video.